Hello friends and welcome to my 24-hour reading vlog. I woke up early, went to bed late, got a lot of reading done. I ended up going book shopping and going for a bike ride. I did some baking, some more reading, did a cookie taste test, saw some geese, lost my mind a little bit, and tried so hard to stay awake for 24 hours. Let's kick it off. Challenge, which means I need to be awake for 24 hours. And I figured the time that made the most sense was 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. because 4 a.m. just didn't feel like the craziest time to wake up, and it also doesn't feel like the craziest time to go to sleep. Basically, I'm just gonna read as much as I can in 24 hours, as many books as I can. I got a sunburn yesterday. It was such a cloudy day too. I haven't woken up this early since like hockey season, and even in hockey season I feel like 5 a.m. is kind of the earliest. So I'm gonna get in 3 hours of reading before anyone in my family is awake. But I don't even know what to start with. I also have a very tiny house, so talking is making me nervous. I'll show you what I'm thinking about reading. Into my challenge. I'm going to continue to be way too close to you, and I have read 80 pages. I actually read about 10 pages, will listen to, of a quantum love story because I thought I would be in the mood for a romance. I did not like the way it was written. So I moved over to Immortal Pleasures, and I think I hate it, but I also pre-ordered this. I've read from this author twice before, so I'm hoping the story gets better. The writing is just very unlike what I've read from her before, which makes me think it is intentional. So I'm going to try to get into the style of it, but it's very cold. It's clinical. It's stilted. It's very short sentences and just very like factual. We've had so much info dump about this 500-year-old Aztec vampire's history. It's the origin story of La Malinche, or Dona Marina, also known as Malinali. You may also be familiar with the name Hernan Cortez, and it gives a brief history of Cortez destroying her people and her being taken into slavery. And this story is about her living in like the modern world. So she deals antiques, and she's talking about how her business is thriving because she lives in the age of the internet now, and she's reflecting on all of her hundreds of years as a vampire. And Hernan Cortez now runs like a vampire skincare brand, and it's all just like a little silly, but the writing and the plot doesn't feel silly. In those first 80 pages, she met this bookstore owner, and it is like, you can tell by the title and the cover that it's about sex. Like, it's a very we've had 3 sex scenes, very descriptive sex scenes, with this bookstore owner who she just became enamored with and is trying not to give in to her vampire urges and feed on him. But the scenes are not like nice to read. They're not like romance sex scenes. They're just very cold, descriptive. She reveals that she's a vampire to him, and he becomes obsessed with that and wants to know like everything about it. And so he's asking all of these questions, but they're just very like basic questions, like, since a bite doesn't make me a vampire, what does? And then she goes on like a 2-page just internal monologue about something from her history. Then they're having sex. Then he asks another basic question. It's like just like this weird interview because the author wants to give us more background, but tries to like naturally integrate it into conversation, and it just like doesn't, it's not working. But I'm on to hour number 2, so let's continue. It's 6 a.m. I am halfway through my book. I feel the same about it. We're getting a lot of this character's past and where she came from, and I love stories about women reclaiming their history that has been told wrong, or they've been, you know, eliminated from their own history. I am going to make muffins before my family wakes up so they can wake up to muffins. Yeah, it feels really wrong to be holding a stick of butter considering the sex scene that I just read. I think she said her ass was like a monstrous squid, and then they used butter as lube. I'm gonna use butter the correct way because I have some bananas that I think are perfectly ready for banana muffins. I might actually make banana Nutella muffins because Liam would just be elated. Not only have I not stayed up for 24 straight hours since probably high school, I don't drink caffeine anymore. So I think this is an interesting challenge. I'm just going to drink a lot of water because I saw a nurse / booktuber one time say that if you're really tired, if you just drink a whole bunch of water, that can work better than caffeine. Not that I'm tired yet. I'm actually feeling pretty alive. What I'm gonna do while I bake is listen to the audiobook. I think something that we finally got the Spotify audiobook situation in Canada where you get 10 hours included with your premium. Something that I really like about that is you don't have to commit to the audiobook. You're not like downloading a specific audiobook. So I can listen to just like 1 hour, find the chapter that I'm on, and then I didn't pay for the audiobook. I just experienced an hour of that, and then I can listen to an hour of another audiobook, an hour of another audiobook. I haven't used the feature yet because it just came out like last week, but I think it'll come in really handy today so I can like just not stop reading for 24 hours. I've already been not reading for the 3 minutes I've been talking to you. Oh, and let's establish a sleepiness scale from could I be more awake, which is honestly me right now, to just dandy, EP, losing the will to go on, and basically at rest. I'll keep you updated on how I'm feeling throughout the 24 hours. It is now 7 a.m. My family's awake. Say hello.
No.
Okay. My muffins are done and I'm on page 190. Here are my 2 muffins. I think I cooked them a little too long. Give me a rating from 1 to 10. Ooh. I'm gonna give it a 7.
7.
I didn't have any dairy, so I couldn't add milk, which is unfortunate. So I feel like it could have been a little more flavorful. I would have added a little more banana, even a little more sugar, actually. Here's Rob's quirky breakfast. Could you rate my muffins on a scale from 1 to 10? Liam and I both gave it a 7.
I was at 8.
All right. Bye, I love you.
Okay, bye, I love you.
Bye. Love you. The sun is officially completely out. The boys are out of the house, and I have finished my first book. I've never finished a book this early in the day before. Unfortunately, I'm giving it 2 stars. It was not for me. And I hope that doesn't indicate how the entire day of reading is gonna go. I think I'm averaging 45 minutes of every hour I have been reading. Some people do this challenge differently. When it's like seeing how much I can read in 24 hours, they will set a timer and they won't stop until they've read for 24 hours, and that could take like an entire week. For me, I read on average like 2 to 3 hours a day. So I've already more than completed that today, and this is when my day typically is just getting started. I do have a few client things I need to do, and then I'm going to swing by the bookstore because it's a Tuesday, which means new books are out. I don't think there's that many things I need, but as I browse around, I'm sure I'm gonna find some things that I'm interested in. Immortal Pleasures, I think there's a lot that it seemed like would be for me and would be enjoyable when you look at the kind of pitch of it, like a dark fantasy, an Aztec vampire, fated mates. It's just that relationship doesn't take up that much of the book, and it's not the person involved in all of the sex scenes at the beginning. And so just these like grand, instant, sweeping romantic things that they have to say for each other like halfway through the book when they've kind of just met feels wrong. And then also just the vibe of the story is so confusing because Molly Nolly, I think that's how they pronounced it in the audiobook, she like has this goal at the beginning. It's a story of vengeance, and she wants, there's like commentary about colonialism and a lot of things that she wants revenge for, but I don't think we fully understand what her goals are at the beginning. And then she loses steam really quickly because she gets distracted by all of these men. And then at the end, there's just so much action so fast, and it just was not a great time for me. And then only half the story is really current day, and half of it is back in the day, and she's just reminiscing on her past and how she came to be where she's at. But I don't know how to explain it. The book felt like it was a pitch of itself. I can't explain exactly what the writing was not doing for me, but let me read you a passage. When I think more closely about it, I can barely stop from gasping at the realization we were both misunderstood, solitary, and mysterious figures from history. We've been called many names. We are one and the same. Maybe we can understand each other with a silent recognition. And that just feels like the way that you pitch a book to somebody. Just like, oh, it's about two people who are misunderstood, solitary, mysterious figures from history. They've been called many names. They're one and the same. And this is their love story. And it just like said stuff like that the whole book that made it feel like it wasn't a book. It was very clinical. It felt like sometimes you were reading nonfiction, but I still like some of the concepts. I don't know. I don't think I liked anything about the book. I'm trying to think of something I liked about the book, but everything I liked about the book was the pitch of the book, the idea of the book. Like women reclaiming their history and speaking out about the fact that horrible things happened to them and their people. Like, yeah, it said all of those things. It said a lot of important things. It said a lot of valuable things, but it wasn't a good story. I thought maybe this would be a mix of The God of Endings and The Vampires of El Norte, because one wasn't romantic enough, but it had good backstory, and one was so heavily in romance that I enjoyed them both, but I wanted like the explicit version of those stories, and I didn't get what I wanted out of that. I think because I purchased it and I was so excited about it, maybe I'm hesitant to give it 1 star, but perhaps I am. Anyway, I'm taking this hour off to accomplish some things that I actually have to do for my livelihood, and I'll see you at the next hour. Okay, I'm in the 8th hour of being awake. I just spent a very long time circling the bookstore downtown trying to find a place to park because I have my bike on the back and I hate having to park anywhere with my bike on the back. I was gonna stay here and update you, but I should actually probably leave because I'm taking up a good parking spot. But I will tell you, I grabbed some things that I needed in my life. A sweet sting of salt. I grabbed Grey Dog, which I already had on my radar vaguely, and then a bunch of people kept messaging me about it, and I can't remember if they've already read it and were recommending it or just thought it sounded like something I would like. And then I had to have this. I saw a Mosaic post about it like last week because it just came out, Shakespeare for every night of the year. I have poetry for every night of the year, and I've already been through that multiple times. This is just, you know, a moment from a play or whatever for every night, and I want to see what it's on my birthday, and I want to see what it is today. And then I have a funny story, And I'm currently reading The Mystery Writer. Let me drive to where I'm gonna bike, and then I'll update you about that book because I've been listening to the audiobook since I've been driving around. Oh, I also grabbed a new mascara that I need to take a look at. It's called Bad Gal Bang, and it just came out like yesterday in brown and like burgundy, and I'm always looking for a good brown mascara because so many of them just look black. That's my update. So I was gravitating towards, sorry, the familiar, because I feel like not plot wise but vibe wise it might be similar to Immortal Pleasures and give me what I was looking for from that book. But I also fear it'll be too similar and I shouldn't read it back to back, so I might still read it today, but I've switched over to a different genre. I'm reading, as I put on my thriller sweater, I can't tell the temperature, and I haven't perfected the biking fit yet because every time I think I'm dressed properly, the wind comes into it and then I get cold as shit, or the sun is beating down more than I expect and I'm hot. I also wear leggings that really snag on my bike seat. Anyway, I can barely film while I'm biking because I just don't have great balance. I think my bike is so heavy that it's hard to steer with one hand. I feel like when I was a teenager, I could bike with no hands. That is not the case any longer. So I apologize for not good biking footage. Like I wish that was a thing for me. I wish I could like hold the camera and vlog while I was biking. That's probably not safe anyway. I just got a mirror for it because I can't like turn around without steering off the road. So the mystery that I'm reading is The Mystery Writer. I think this is more general fiction, but with just an exciting premise. I know a lot of people didn't love The Woman in the Library, but I gave it 4.5 stars last year, so I was really excited to pick this one up. I was actually supposed to read it next week and then realized that the video I had it planned for didn't make any sense, and I completely forgot the premise by the time I started it, which was so fun to listen to because in chapter 4 there was a big surprise, but it's in the synopsis, so I will spoil it for you. This book is about our main character Theo. I said Theodosia back here. I don't think anyone's called her that. Theo is supposed to be a lawyer like her brother. They are Australian and they're currently, are they living in America or visiting? I don't really know what's happening. She shows up at his house and says, I'm quitting school and I want to be an author. And he supports her dreams and he tells her, go, you have until like December. I don't know what time of year it is right now, but you have until Christmas to write a novel and take time off from school and decide what you want to do with your life. So she does that. She goes to this bar / cafe and writes her book, and the book is great. And there's this man there who is a really famous author, and they're like chatting about everything, and she's like, can you sign me to your agency, like read my manuscript, tell me if it's good. They also kind of become involved with each other in a way, and he is adamant that she should not sign to his agency, that like she's just not right for them. But then chapter 4, she goes to his house to just talk to him or whatever, and he's dead. And I totally forgot that that's what the book's about. And I was like, I gasped. What else does it say? The police begin looking at her brother Gus as the prime suspect. Right, I did know that. And Theo does the unthinkable in order to protect him. Oh my God, what is it? But the writer has left a trail, a thread out of the labyrinth in the form of a story. So what's interesting about this is there's perspective from Theo, and then occasionally we get like these, when I was listening to the audiobook, it sounded like a novel within the book, but now it's starting to feel like a forum of people talking about like what happened to the author and that they know he died and they need to like do something. So I'm trying to figure out if it is a book and he like predicted his own death, and he must have predicted his own death, and so now he's leaving clues, or this is real and there's real people in real life who are aware that he was gonna die or that he died, and they're trying to solve the crime. Anyway, she has now met with his agency, and I won't tell you anything more about that because I think the audiobook said I was 25% of the way in, And there are weird things with this like publishing situation and Theo. So I'm very excited to continue listening to this. I'm gonna go on a 1 hour bike ride. I'm at the Greenway, which is where I normally film all of my Arsenic and the Azaleas mystery books that I like spoil for everyone. Side note, the last one got announced and it's coming out in, I think, July or August. And I always walk on this trail because this is like where the book is set, and I solved the little mystery with Doreen. I don't need to bring all this stuff with me, but I don't want to leave it in my vehicle to be stolen. Also, if I want to vlog, I have a little fuzzy thing. That's why I have this obnoxious thing. Because I do need my headphones. Oh, bye. I am 50% of the way through the audiobook. I am a little hot, but I found a pond. So, should we go for a swim?
Just kidding, but look, a pussy willow. Oh my. Hello?
Oh, look, there's a path. Is this a path? I just hurt myself. I got too excited about the goose.
Oh, there's two of them. Do you think they're in love?
Another one.
Oh my god, another twin.
Somebody walks by me while I'm filming in the thorns. Okay, anyway, it's 1 o'clock.
I think I need a phone holder that has like a thing on the back so I could film while I'm biking, because then I could just film this way. And I can't flip it upside down because it gets stuck, but that'd be cool.
Imagine I start wearing a GoPro just for the vlog footage on my helmet. When I hauled this book, a bunch of people told me that they had DNF'd it, that they weren't really into it. And so me telling you 50% of the way in that there's not much plot to really tell you about isn't gonna sell the book, but I just want you to know that I'm liking it. Like, it's basically just Theo trying to figure out what happened to her friend. But her life is also in danger because she was famous. People think that she did it. So she has this guy like protecting her, and she has her brother who's keeping an eye on her. The story within the story is becoming a little more clear, like exactly what it is and what it means. And he just has some very dedicated fans, I'll say that. I'm just stopping at Freshie to grab lunch. Look at the mural that's behind me.
Rainbow horses? Oh my god, I love it.
Should I take a thumbnail here? Will anybody see me is the question. Oh, my bike's in the way though. All right, I got the Oaxaca bowl, which is the only thing I've ever gotten because why mess with a good thing? But I have never tried their smoothie before. So let's see how it compares to Booster Juice. I was gonna go there, but I was like, let me just... I saw her put 2 whole bananas in here, so I think it's just mango, banana, coconut milk, and honey. If a Booster Juice is a 9 out of 10, this is a 7 out of 10. Now, pardon me while I physically read and eat my lunch. I'm home. I finished my book, and my sleepiness scale it's moving up. For sure. My bed, I'm not gonna lie, is looking really, really tempting. Don't mind all the books. I was planning to film a book haul today. Not quite sure how I figured that was a realistic goal. Before I tell you about the book, which, by the way, the synopsis thing that we talked about her protecting her brother, that didn't happen until 75% of the way through it. Before I tell you my final review and rating, I look a little iffy right now, my complexion. Before I tell you that, I need to, I'm losing the ability to speak. Coherency has left the chat. We need to try out the mascara. I took mascara off of this eye. What else did I want to say? I don't know. Oh, I put on my B shirt again because I figured it matched Daphne's, and I think this is what I'm going to be reading at like 4 a.m. Hopefully finishing at 4 a.m. If I start it at midnight, that should work out for me. Also, this makes me reminisce about a passage that I remember reading in here. Let me not misquote. She said, "Being this close to him makes my feel like it's full of bees."
They're buzzing, causing sticky sweet honey to leak from the honeycomb. I like watching men bathe in that honey as it coats their mouths and chins. I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done between now and this, because there's like 3 hockey games on back to back that we're gonna wanna watch. So I don't know if I can read, probably intermission. Like I'll figure out one more book. It might be the Liber Dugo if it's not boring. But my yellow can also represent, who's playing tonight? The Predators? Okay, I'm rooting for the Predators because of my shirt, even though I said the Canucks. Also, my Dallas expectation based on last night's game, oh no, I'm worried. But we'll see, we'll see. What was I doing? Mascara. Okay, coming close. Oh, class. I just thought I was Miss Frizzle. I look like the Magic School Bus. This side is Maybelline Falsies something. Don't mind my melasma. It's getting out of control. And this is Bad Gal Bay. Oh, I thought the Delulu time would come in the morning, but apparently just me up for 11 hours is a problem. It looks the same. What do you think? This one's clumpier because it's been on all day, but I needed a new mascara anyway. Don't know if I would recommend it. I'm not a beauty guru. I know sometimes it's so confusing because I'm serving looks, right? Always shut up. I'm so tired. It's an hour later. Here's what you missed on Glee. Rob brought me home flowers. How cute. I read today's Shakespeare thing, and it's actually his like death day / birthday. So that's kind of a crazy coincidence. And then I posted something on the Literally Dead book club Instagram. I finished this and then forgot to tell you what I rated it. I think it's a 3.5. I'm a little disappointed because what on earth was happening in the final third of this? I was really on board. I was having a good time. I feel like it's the wrong amount of mixed media. There was too little or too much. Like I should have not been here at all, or I should have been here a lot. And then in the final third, we time jumped like crazy. Suddenly, like someone was missing and I was like, wait, what are you talking about? And then that person was no longer missing very quickly. And I got a little bit lost. And I don't think that's me and my headspace. I think it's the book not pacing itself correctly. This maybe in another universe, Hilary Gentile writes cozy mysteries, and like her main characters are always so vivid, whether you like them or not. They're very well described. They're very clear people. And maybe she should write, like this character could have had a whole series, a cozy mystery series where she's an amateur sleuth because she's a little annoying and stupid and making not the best decisions all the time and is a little naive. And that could have taken, like the 4 different things that happened in here could have taken place over 4 books, 1 mystery per book. But instead it was all thrown in here. And while I liked what was happening and I love books about books and authors, it lost me. There was a lot of action. There was a lot of running around, chasing people down, people getting injured. And the mystery was found out. It was explained. Do I love the explanation? Not so much. Anyway, I'm actually this short. We're gonna go to the park. We're at the park. I'm tired. To decide my next read, I'm gonna read the first chapter of all of these while we're here, and hopefully something speaks to me. If not, I also brought 2 more. My pages are stuck together because of the sprayed edges.
now picked 3 historical fiction books. This is set in the 16th century. There's this woman named Valentina, and she has all of these servants, and I think the chapter was implying that the servants all have like this type of magic, and they can't let her find out about it. This one is set in 1901, and it's like gothic literary horror. We had a character named Ada, and she was going to stay with this husband and wife. She's gonna work as like a teacher. There was this really ominous line where she was like, "I see a red door, remind me of the red door that changed everything about my life." Very ominous. I've heard it's about like female rage, and it's this descent into madness. That one was Ada. This one's Ida. I think it's like a fairy tale folklore vibe in this small town. It was very atmospheric, very descriptive. These are both set in Canada, and this was like Nova Scotia lighthouses, ocean vibes. And she's working as a midwife, and she's gonna find an unusual baby. I don't think in my current state any of these are gonna hold my attention the way that I need them to. Maybe I need a novella. This first chapter was good, not great. I'm still really interested in the book, but it didn't excite me in a way that I think I can easily complete it, along with everything else that I want to do. And the first chapter of The Har was only 8 pages. It introduced exactly what the synopsis says, and I think I still do want to read it. It just isn't captivating me the way that I need it to in this type of reading challenge. Look what arrived in the mail. I didn't know this would come today, and it was perfect timing for the video. Liam wants to look first. There's stuffed cookies. I've been getting really jealous of everybody's crumble cookie reviews on TikTok, and I wanted to order some of my own. These are YVR cookies, and they're stuffed. Okay, first up was a pick for Liam. They like to show it like this, stacked on top of each other. That's your advertising. Last month we did cake tastings. Now it's cookie tastings. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like that's a 9.
8.5. Yeah.
Next up is inspired by Dunkaroos. It's a Dunka cookie.
Wow.
A Dunkaroo.
Yeah.
I love it.
9.
Go ahead and tell them what it is for people who can't read.
Chocolate peanut butter.
Oh, that's too dry.
7.
6.
Next.
Salted chocolate chunk.
It's not that salty. Are you staring right at them the whole time? That's so scary. Really?
8.5.
Cookie butter score.
That's not it.
I don't think I like cookie butter, actually.
It just seems boring.
Last one.
Reese's peanut butter.
I think it's just the Reese's Pieces on the top, and then peanut butter cups in the middle.
Wait for the kid.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Oh, smell it. Oh.
It smells like a cookie.
No, it smells like a peanut butter cup.
Really?
Oh. That's the best texture, for sure.
8.5. Thanks for being here.
It was fun.
Power went out again during the playoffs again. Now what am I supposed to do? Read by candlelight? Last time it was because of the ospreys, and they cause fires on the power lines. But now I hear a lot of sirens, so somebody might have crashed into something. I'm trying to figure out if I just like am too tired to read, like that's why nothing is hitting for me, or if it's the books and I should just keep reading more books and more chapters. It's really dark in here.
They're saying it's the birds again.
Who's saying?
People on Facebook.
At least we all still have data, I guess. I can listen to an audiobook. Last time it was out for 6 hours. The time before that, it was only like 2. Oh, well, now I really am forced to pick a book because there's like nothing else to do.
Yeah. You went to bed.
He's so depressed, he just went to sleep. All right, the power came back on just in time to watch the Canucks lose. I started a book and I kind of just gave up and gave in, and I'm 80 pages into
Do you know what this is? If you didn't buy this book yet, maybe you don't know. It's a funny story. I figured I would just read it. I wanted to be reading it last, but there are 6 hours until I go to sleep. This isn't gonna take me 6 hours, but I don't know what else. I don't know what else I'm gonna get up to, but this is what's up. Nobody wants to hear that I'm having a reaction to the cookies, so I won't tell you that that's currently what's happening in my body. Liam went to bed. Rob's doing the dishes. He's gonna go to bed. Everyone's gonna abandon me. But I took out my contacts because I'm a good poor eye health fearing kind of girl. What else is new? Let me think. Oh, let me tell you a funny story. So we have 2 characters. Remember when I designed the cover of this and the title thinking it was going to be like a beachy romance of 2 people? This is not that. This is our main character. Her name, remember? Daphne and Miles. I remember Miles. Daphne was engaged to this man named Peter, and Peter had this bestie named Petra, and it was one of those like, no, don't worry about her, she's just my best friend kind of situations. And then right before their wedding, he ended up leaving her for Petra. And now she is living with Miles because they both don't have a partner anymore. They are sharing a space, and it's been nice. Obviously they're both healing, and so they shouldn't want to jump into a relationship with each other. So fake dating it is, because Peter's like, oh, you guys can still come to the wedding, like no hard feelings, you're still invited. And then they RSVP and Peter's like, but you don't have to come. Like, I know I'd be so uncomfortable with you because you're so sad and lonely. And Daphne's like, actually, no, I'm dating Miles. And Miles overheard that and he was like, yeah, we should fake date. Like, that sounds like a great idea. He's very unbothered, just like go with the flow, like kind of whatever. And I just love Emily Henry characters. I just think they're great. How tired am I of a skill on a scale from 1 to 10?
19.
Rob's going to bed like a loser. So we have to play our nightly games. You're gonna harmonize with me?
No. Trade.
My word is lover. Hey, lover. What are your options?
Mover.
Ooh.
Bover.
No. Cover.
Cover. Good thing we didn't.
Rover.
Oh, nasty.
Good thing we cheated. It's time for connections. Ground, soil, earth, land.
Okay.
Terra firma? Crazy category.
Where was Sully? Where did he land? Splash Mountain.
Yes. I was thinking. Where did he land? Why are you asking me that?
Was that New York or something? I don't remember.
What? Why?
Maybe it was
that...
Philadelphia. I don't know.
Well, what would they have in common?
Philadelphia, toss, eject.
Oh, eject, bounce.
Yeah. The Black Sea.
The Black Sea.
Black
the Baltic
Sea.
Sea.
Red Sea.
The
Black Sea.
The Big Sea.
Big Sea. Philippine Sea? Because it's not the Philippines.
The Philadelphia Eagles. Oh.
Yeah.
Sully,
Keen.
Splash, Big Philadelphia.
Mr. Sully, Mr. Splash, Mr. Big, Mr. Philadelphia. Tom Hanks. It was Sully the pilot.
I've never heard of Philadelphia.
Or Splash.
Splash is the mermaids, I think. It's crossword.
Okay.
Speak with a gravelly voice. Sound of an angry grunt. Very excited with up.
Giddy up.
Riled. Showing guitars, Nick.
What are those
Chord?
called? No, what are they called?
Rivets.
No, wait.
Bing bongs. Degrees conferred after successful defenses. Something's wrong here.
It's definitely not Humph.
Oh, why was I so committed to Humph?
Oh, Humph's right. Degrees after
What?
successful defenses. PhDs?
You're so fucking smart. Amped!
Oh, nice.
Law.
Lounges.
Oh, wait, I have auto check on.
Oh, shit. Fret. Thank you.
Oh, spelt.
Rasp.
Ding! 130 pages in, and what I'm liking is there's this countdown. Authors who have a countdown, they just know that it creates this tension, it creates this like expectation, and we know that she has the ability to like move away, which she's finished her obligations at work in like 100 and something days. So it just puts this number in the back of our heads as the reader that like the time that they have together is fleeting, but obviously because it's a romance, they're gonna figure out that they want to be together longer and whatever. But what I am resisting doing is jumping ahead, because I really want to know how much time, like right now it's June 6th, a third of the way into the book, and it started in May, so they've only been roommates for like a month. And this is bad for both of them. Like clearly getting into a relationship right after getting out of a relationship that was so serious, and being betrayed in the way that they were, and getting into what they're into right now, which is like fake dating in order to make the other party jealous. Like that's all it is. Yes, there's some like ideas of them liking each other for real and getting to know each other. But I just want to know, are we going to jump ahead like a couple months? Like I want to jump ahead a year when they're more stable and they can actually realistically think about being together, because I already like them together. But right now, it just seems like the complete wrong time. And it's actually a little stressful. Like they just saw Peter and they just like made out in front of him. And eventually they're gonna realize that they're doing all of this because they just like each other and they're looking for excuses to touch each other and do things together. And I'm gonna love that. I also have a feeling they're not gonna actually end up going to the wedding. I hope not, because that would just be a really good way to end it. I love when movies are leading up to this big event and then the people decide they're not actually gonna go, so it changes the expectations of the movie too, because they realize they don't actually want to go, they have something better to do. Maybe there's an important event that the other person wants to attend and they show up for them unexpectedly. Anyway, I actually think I'm gonna listen to some of the audiobook because I fear I might fall asleep if I solely read it physically. But also if I do it audio, I don't know that I have, I don't know if my eyes are open enough to be cross-stitching right now. But I don't know what else to be doing. All I know is it was the right thing to pick this book last, because I'm absolutely not gonna go to sleep without finishing it, because I just love Emily Henry's writing. Staying awake for 3 more hours is starting to seem insane. At least my book is good though. I'm definitely fading. I can't believe this book has 100 more pages. Like it's a long one. It feels long. It's the most like explicit Emily Henry I believe we've ever gotten. Not that it's like smutty in any way. Oh, my battery's gonna die. Well, whatever. Do I really have an update? We're learning about their respective families and past, and they're still living together, and people are coming and like staying at the apartment with them, and it's causing quirky difficulty. I look like I should be asleep. I mean, I'm definitely not reading another book. I can't even hold my camera. Good morning, or actually afternoon. Here's what happened. I clearly could barely stay awake trying to show you that I had hit hour 23, but I did it, and that's exactly when I was like 10 pages away from finishing Funny Story. So I filmed that clip, I finished the book, and then I like was gonna vlog, or I was gonna pick up another book, and then I just fell asleep. So I technically lost my challenge by like 45 minutes, and I'm so upset with myself because I wanted like a late night Delulu review of Funny Story, but you're not getting that. I am in my right mind today. I slept until 11 a.m. Funny Story, I'm gonna give a 3.5. This entire book, every single element was good. I think it was a good book. The love interest, Miles, carried the entire thing. He like practically gets a 5 as a character. I love the journey that they individually went on, dealing with their like family histories, drama, trauma. I don't think as a fake dating book, this like fully committed to the bit, which would have been fun. I also like always am gonna want more rom-com, especially in something that literally has the word funny in the title. I wanted more banter, I wanted more giggly, like kicking my feet, oh my god, these people are so precious and I love them together moments. But overall, I just like felt fine about their relationship, which is how I feel about most romances. I saw somebody say that this is Emily Henry's most commercial romance, and I agree. I think it would be her most easily adaptable romance, but in that, well, other than Beach Read, this and Beach Read, I think you could easily turn into a movie, they hit all of the traditional beats of a romance. It's really traditional, but in that I also would say it's her most forgettable romance. And I find a lot of her plot and characters and dynamics are feeling recycled at this point, just for me personally. And I'm always gonna want more tension, and this probably wasn't the best book to expect that, so that's fine. But the fact that they like live together so early on, it just like removes a lot of the tension for me, because they begin fake dating so early in the book and they get more comfortable with each other so early in the book. There wasn't this like forced proximity, roommates, like we can't be together kind of back and forth that I would have liked to see. Overall, just the relationship didn't completely win me over. And then all of the side plots and side characters were good. Everything was good. Nothing blew me away. It's a classic situation of a woman not knowing what she wants out of life, being thrown into something she never expected and having to readjust her expectations and figure out what she wants out of her career, out of her relationships, out of her family dynamics, and who she really is as a person. She gets everything that she wants out of it. I think it's a positive story. There's such a contrast between the two relationships that she has, and that just changes her mind about a lot of things. It was all good, and I'm glad that I read it. It does mean I continue to be in my 5-star drought, and I really need to get out of it. And at the end of the day, I read 3 books by 3 authors that I've read from before. I didn't like any of them as much as the best book that I've read from each of these respective authors. In addition to these pages, plus the, I would say, 50 of first chapters that I ended up reading, I read a total of 1,105 pages over 20, we'll call it 24 hours, which means I read approximately 46 pages an hour. I'm not gonna add up how many hours of audio versus pages, like if you want to know the difference between that, I don't know what that is. But I would say I ended up reading like 40 of every 60 minutes and completed 3 things. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you want me to do the other version of this 24-hour challenge where people read for exactly 24 hours and see how much they can read in that allotted time. So every single time I pick up a book, I start the stopwatch. I stop it every time I stop reading, and then I don't end the video until I've read for 24 full hours. There'll be a lot more reviews in that, but a lot less like daily life. Though this was not like a typical day in my life because I chose a day where I had like no real plans. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in another one soon. Bye.